We'll see how to manage Docker private registries using sonatype Nexus. While working on Docker-based applications, it's typical practice to store Docker images in a private registry. For private registries, we can use a sonatype Nexus. We also can use JFrog Artifactory, but this video I'll be showing how to set up Nexus to store our Docker images. We'll see first how to install and configure Nexus. Then we'll configure Nexus as a service, and we will enable Nexus on reboot. That is, when a VM reboots, Nexus should auto start. Then we'll create a Docker private registry inside Nexus, and we'll see I will take a dummy Docker image, and we'll see how to upload or how to push that image to Nexus. Okay, I have taken a couple of virtual machines in Amazon Web Services. You can take any Linux virtual machines, and you can implement this on those Linux servers. So first let me connect to this machine, and let's see how to install Nexus on that. So I'm trying to connect to Nexus server. Okay, there's a warning, and let me change the permissions for PEM file. Alright, let's rerun that SSH command. Okay, yeah, we logged into this Nexus Linux machine. Let's see how to download sonatype Nexus. Before that, if you want to install and configure Nexus, we need Java 8. That's mandatory. Let's go and install Java 8 first. I want to see list of Java packages available in yum repository. For that, I'm doing sudo yum list, and I'm grepping only Java in this. Okay, let's take this package and install it. Package not available. Let me retry that. Okay, there's a typo. Early J was missing, so that's the issue. Let's type yes. Java 8 is successfully installed. That's a prerequisite for the Nexus we're going to set up here. Usually when you guys launch instances from Amazon Web Services, Amazon Linux comes with Java 7 by default. In this case, we have Java 7 and 8 both. Let me go and check the Java version. Okay, I think it's single hyphen. See that Java is pointing to 1.7, but what we need is 1.8. On this machine we have 1.7 and 8. I want to make 1.8 as default. For that, I'm using this command update alternatives config Java command. This is showing a couple of Java commands on this machine, and default is pointing to 1.7. Let's choose 2 and make 1.8 as default. In your case, if you have just 1.8, then you can ignore this step. Alright, to reconfirm, let's run this Java version command. Yeah, and make sure that is pointing to 1.8. Okay, And the next prerequisite is at least we need 4 GB RAM on the VM you're setting up a sonatype Nexus. So in this case, I have 4 GB RAM, so otherwise your Nexus may not work. So make sure these prerequisites are met. Okay, let's download sonatype Nexus 3, and from this I want to use this Linux flavor. So we can't directly copy this link because when you click this link that redirects to the actual link, I need that actual link for downloading. So what I do is, let me click this one, and when it starts downloading, I can get that link from the browser. Let me pass it here and show all. Yeah, this is the link. That is the link we have to copy. So copy that. Back to your Linux machine where you want to install Nexus. I want to install it under opt. Let's use sudo wget and paste this link. So we downloaded it. Let me untar this file. Okay, let me list out. I want to rename this folder. And I also want to change permissions on this. You have to observe it, and while untouring it has created two directories for us. One is with name Nexus and other one is with sonatype work. So when you change permissions, make sure you're changing permissions on this folder as well as this folder. Let me meanwhile delete this package. We don't need that. Let me sudo remove that. Okay, now let me change permissions on Nexus and sonatype work folder. Sudo change ownership. I want to do this recursively on my parent as well as all its subfolders and files. Okay, and the other one is this one. I want to assign a new owner for these two folders. This is the username and this is a group I'm assigning to this folders here. Alright, the next step is I want to quickly show how to start a sonatype Nexus. Then we will see how to configure Nexus as a service. Cd bin, and you can see this Nexus script. I use that and say start. Yes, that starts your Nexus. Let's wait for a while and again check the status of Nexus. If something is wrong, probably in between your Nexus can stop. So I'm just pausing the video for a while and I'll come back. Now let's see the status. Yeah, so Nexus is up and running. Let's access Nexus from web browser and check. Let's grab the public IP of Nexus. The default port used by Nexus is 8081. Let's hit that. Seems, yeah, it's coming up. The Nexus repository manager is coming up. We can sign in. Default username is admin and default password is admin123. Okay, yeah, we got access to this Nexus repository manager. So before going forward, I want to configure Nexus as a service, and I want to make Nexus to auto start when VM reboots. Google for run Nexus as a service and take this link. This is the documentation from Sonatype Nexus itself. Let us follow these steps one by one. Okay, first we need to open this bash rc file under home directory and add the location, add the environment variable which points to Nexus installation directory. Under this home directory, so bash rc, Nexus home equals, so in my case I installed Nexus in this path. So save this file and make sure you're running this source this command, because right, we added a new environment variable to this file. We need to reload that, otherwise we need to relog in for getting those updated environment variables. The next step is under Nexus home bin there should be nexus.rc. So open this file and update this property there. So in this case, right, I am using EC2 user and I want to run Nexus as EC2 user. So in place of Nexus, I'm going to put my user. In your case, this username is different, and make sure you're putting that username in this field. So here, I want to run Nexus as EC2 user, and don't forget to remove this comment. Okay. The next step is we have to create this soft link under etc init.d. Let's grab this command. Let's execute this. Then we have to do check config changes. Let's cd into this. Let's run these commands one by one. I'm starting Nexus as a service now. I'm doing sudo service nexus start. Let's say I want to check the status. I will do sudo service nexus status. Right. So Nexus is configured as a service, and Nexus is also enabled on system reboot. If I restart my VM, Nexus will automatically start. The next step is to create Docker private registry on Nexus. Let's do that now. So sign into Nexus, go to settings and click repositories and create a repository. Then choose Docker hosted, give some unique name. So any unique name. Then we have to configure a repository connectors. With help of this, your clients can connect to this repository and can upload Docker images and also can pull Docker images. So for this demo, I'm using HTTP. I'm giving some random port, which is 8083, and force basic authentication. Okay, so we are disabling anonymous pull. Okay, I'm leaving this as default. Docker registry API support. If you want your clients to use APIs to interact with this repository, and enable that. I think that's it. Now we can go ahead and create this repository. Yeah, so this is the name. This repository is successfully created. So what's next is we need to take one VM and let's install Docker on it. Let's create a dummy image and let's try to push that image to this Docker sonatype registry. For that, I have taken this Docker host machine. Let's connect to this. Let's connect to that Docker host. Let's install Docker on this first. Let's start Docker service, Docker daemon. Okay, so Docker is coming up. So next one, we need to update one small configuration on this Docker host. Let's do that. Now we have to create one small JSON file on this Docker host. Right, so if this file doesn't exist already, you have to create it. So okay, so let me open this in sudo mode because we don't have permissions. Right, this is a configuration we have to put inside this file. We need to configure insecure registries. This is the IP address of Nexus, and if you guys remember, we configured 8083 as a port while we created Docker private registry Nexus. So we need to have this file, otherwise your clients won't be able to connect to Nexus for pushing and pulling images. Yeah, and restart Docker daemon, because right, this configuration is just updated. To reflect those changes in Docker daemon, we need to restart it. Okay, next step, let's log into the Docker registry from command line. -u admin -p, it is admin123, and the location of Nexus registry. 1 second. 8083. Yeah, we're trying to log into Nexus. This is IP address of Nexus, and this is a port open in Nexus for the clients to interact with. Fine, there's a warning, we can ignore that. You could see this login succeeded. So we're able to successfully log in to Nexus Docker private registry with help of this docker login command. So next, let's take a sample image and let's try to push that sample image to Nexus. Let's take one dummy image from Docker Hub and let's push that image to Nexus. So I'm taking this Alpine latest image. So if you want to push this image to your private registry, we need to tag it little differently like this. So I am updating the tag. Okay, the current tag is Alpine latest, and I want to retag this one with the Nexus format. So I need to put the IP address of Nexus, its port number. So this is very important. When you tag, if you want to push any image to Nexus, make sure you're tagging that image with its IP and the port number we configured in Nexus. So slash, so any image name you like, and let me tag this with 1.0.0. Fine. Now let's see the images. Yeah, see this one. This is properly tagged to push into Nexus. So we can't push this image because this is not prefixed with the IP colon the port number of Nexus. And this port number is the one which is configured for clients to connect. Now let's do sudo docker push okay, so let's run this command, and we should have logged into this Nexus before we run this command. So previously I have shown docker login. Without logging into Nexus, we can't run this command. Okay, see that it successfully pushed your image to Nexus. We can open Nexus and see the image is present there or not. Let's go to this browse server components. Use this one and select docker private. Yeah, see this one. If you can see this, this is a name we used, Alpine. If you expand Alpine, it also has tags. We tagged this image as 1.0.0, and this is how we configure Nexus, and this is how we push images to Nexus. Thanks for watching. Bye.